I'm here to talk about the Syrian crisis that's been going on in Syria. Syria, as you know, is a small country in the Middle East that's about the same size as Washington. And it's also home to 22 million people. Syria has been in a very violent civil war lately, and we're not sure when it will end. It all started back in 2011 in the city of Dera, when locals, peaceful protesters, were protesting against the government for arresting 15 school children for writing anti-government writings on the wall. And the way the government reacted to these protesters was that they shot them. And the protesters were left pretty devastated, not knowing what to do. After a bit more shooting, the protesters got on their feet and formed rebel groups across the country and started fighting the government back. But that's not the real issue here, though. It all sounds terrible, but that's not the issue. That's not the real issue here. About 2 months ago, the Syrian government used chemical weapons against its own people, and it took the lives of thousands of innocent children, women, and men that weren't even fighting. And so the chemical weapons were originally aimed at the rebel groups, but it killed quite a bit of, people. And so the issue here is, what could we do, and what kind of government would best stop this from happening again? So that's what I'm going to be talking about. Hi, I'm here to talk about which form of ancient governing would best suit the Syrian crisis. I personally believe that the ancient Athenian democracy would probably best fix the problem that's been going on in Syria and stop the chances of another chemical bomb dropping. In a democracy, the people always usually have a say, and in Syria that's not the case right now. The people are fighting for their say. And if the Syrian people were able to have a say, things would be different, and it wouldn't lead to a violent civil war that kills children, women, and men. And that's just what I think. Hi, I'm here to talk about how the Syrian chemical crisis was solved by using democracy. As we all know, in a direct democracy, the people always have a say in what's going on. So, in Syria, the democratic government would have 3 bodies of governance, just like the ancient Athens did in their democracy. Starting at the top, we would have a thing called the assembly. The assembly happened every month. So, in the assembly, people from each city in Syria can come and represent their city and share ideas and discuss what issues are going on at the moment and what they can do to fix them. They could also build houses, drinking fountains, schools, stuff like that. And now, who would carry out these things? Moving on to the middle, we have the consul. The consul are the guys who would carry out these stuff. The consul is 10 selected citizens that would either say yes or no to the assembly's proposition, and they would also have the power to carry out this proposition. So if somebody wants to build tennis courts, the consul could say, yes, let's build tennis courts right here. And they would build tennis courts. So, yeah. Now, when it comes to crime, the government would have courts. Everyone would be judged equally, and everyone would get the same trial. And everyone would get a lawyer. Now, there's about 600 lawyers that the government has to choose from, and they can only choose 10 that can attend that certain trial. So let's say the Syrian president has to go to trial for bombing his people. So he would go there, and they would find him guilty, and he would go to jail, just like all the other guys that do bad things. Now, for minors, for kids who are under 18, trial would be different, and they won't be tried the same way as an adult. So, yeah. So, also, what I don't think a potential solution to the Syrian chemical crisis would be is the Hammurabi Code, because the code is made by one person, and not everyone has agreed on it, and there will always be someone that doesn't like it, which will get someone else to not like it, and there would be a group of people who will try to resist it and not follow it. So, yeah, that's all I want to talk about. And an example of how the world used democracy to fix the Syrian crisis is when one of Syria's allies, Russia, put out a proposition where they would take away Syria's chemical weapons, and Syria won't be able to have any chemical weapons, which means probably they won't bomb. They won't bomb their people again. So everyone, including the U.S. and the UN, agreed to this proposition, and now they're starting to remove the chemical bombs in Syria. That's just one example of how democracy lowered the chances of Syria using chemical bombs on its people again. So, thank you for watching, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks.